Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our English B2C podcast. I'm so glad you're here with me today. If this is your first time listening, let me explain how our podcast works. Each episode is built around one theme. I'll tell you the same story 4 times. Once at B1, B2, C1, and finally C2 level. That means you'll hear the story get richer, more natural, and more advanced step by step. Today's topic is travel dreams. Where do you want to go? So sit back, relax, and let's begin this journey together. I love traveling. When I was a child, I always looked at pictures of other countries. I wanted to go there one day. My dream is to visit Japan. I want to see the cherry blossoms and try sushi. I also want to visit Kyoto because it has old temples and beautiful gardens. Traveling makes me happy because I can learn about new people and new cultures. Great work! You've just heard the B1 version. Now let's tell the same story again at B2 level. You'll notice longer sentences, more details, and some personal reflection. Traveling has always been one of my biggest dreams. When I was young, I often looked at magazines and websites, imagining myself in faraway countries. The place I would most love to visit is Japan. I'm fascinated by its traditions and culture. I dream of walking under the cherry blossoms in spring, tasting fresh sushi in Tokyo, and exploring the old streets of Kyoto with its temples and gardens. For me, traveling is not only about fun, it's also a way to understand how other people live, think, and celebrate life. Each trip is a chance to grow and learn something new about the world and about myself. Excellent! Now let's go one step further. At C1 level, the story becomes richer, with more advanced vocabulary, deeper descriptions, and analysis. Listen carefully and see what new expressions you can pick up. Travel for me is more than a hobby, it's a lifelong dream. Since childhood, I've been captivated by images of distant lands, each photograph sparking my imagination and desire to explore. Among all destinations, Japan stands at the top of my list. I picture myself wandering beneath a sky filled with delicate cherry blossoms, savoring the artistry of sushi prepared by a master, and losing myself in the quiet beauty of Kyoto's temples and gardens. But beyond the beauty of landscapes and food, what excites me most is the chance to connect with a culture so different from my own. Traveling allows me to question my assumptions, to broaden my worldview, and to discover new ways of living. In many ways, every journey is both an outward adventure and an inward exploration. Now we've arrived at the final stage, C2 level. This version will sound more natural, almost like a native speaker telling their personal reflection. Get ready for a fluent and sophisticated take on the same story. To me, travel has always been less about ticking countries off a list and more about chasing moments that feel alive. As a child, I would lose myself in photographs of distant horizons, imagining the scent of the air, the rhythm of the streets, the taste of unfamiliar foods. Japan, in particular, calls to me. I imagine the quiet poetry of cherry blossoms drifting through the air, the discipline and elegance hidden in a single piece of sushi, and the timeless calm of Kyoto's temples whispering stories older than I can comprehend. Yet what draws me most is not the scenery, but the shift inside myself. Travel strips away routine. It reminds me that the world is vast, layered, and endlessly complex. Each journey feels like a dialogue between me and the place, between who I am and who I might become. In that sense, travel is not just about where I want to go, but about who I want to be along the way. And that's the end of today's episode. We started with simple sentences at B1, then added more detail at B2, moved to richer analysis at C1, and finally reached a fluent, almost native-like reflection at C2. I hope you enjoyed hearing how the same story can change across levels. Try practicing by repeating the version that feels right for you, and then challenge yourself with a higher level. Thank you so much for listening. In our next episode, we'll explore another exciting topic and take another step forward in your English journey. Until then, keep learning, keep dreaming, and keep traveling, even if only in your imagination for now.